What's going on, peeps? It's Wrath here hanging out today, playing some Idle Heroes. I want to thank you guys so much for coming out with me today. If you liked the video, don't forget, smash that thumbs up button to show your support. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright guys, so yesterday I talked about the no intro thing in the comments, and strangely enough, it was like split 50-50. Like half people were like, no, hate the intro. Half people were like, I like the intro. So I think we're just going to leave it off for a while, see how it goes, because I'm not going to lie, I was never super impressed with it anyways. When I made it, I just kind of made it because I was like, well, your channel has to have one, right? Super new to the YouTube game, didn't really know, so I was like, yeah, we'll use that. And I don't know. I wasn't super impressed, so we're going to leave it off for a little while. If I find a better one, like someone that can make me like a really good one, it might come back, but better and better. But the one it is right now, not really impressed with. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about today. What we're here to talk about today is hero analysis. Why? Mainly because all the events are done. There's not a whole lot going on right now. I mean, everything kicks in tomorrow or at refresh. So, with casinos finished, Profit Orbs can't do it on the official server anyway. So what we're going to talk about today is a 10-star hero analysis. We only have one 10-star on this account, so you know who it's going to be. It's going to be good old Ormus. So as always, we're going to talk about the skills, all that good business, where they're good at, things like that, how to gear it up, and we're going to get into that. So alright, let's start things out here, reading through the skills. First up, the active skill, the Blue Lightning Laser. He lasers things with blue lightning. It's pretty amazing. He deals 125% of his attack as damage against 2 random backline enemies and heals all allies by 200% of his attack as HP, with a 30% chance of healing 340% of his attack as extra HP each round for 3 rounds. So essentially, he's got a pretty solid AoE heal normally, with a chance of a really big heal, and that's actually kind of nice. That big burst healing Ormus can put out actually is really handy. It's not like Vesa with a very sustained heal. It can be crazy high, and it can kind of go lower too. But that's Ormus. Not a big damage dealer, big on the AoE heals. Alright? First passive here, Healing 3, very aptly named, I guess. Attack has a 100% chance to deal an extra 50% of attack as damage and heal a random ally for 50% of his attack as HP each round for 3 rounds. So that first attack, it's actually a damage over time effect. Like when you hit some, it goes till the end, and then it pops like right at the end of the turn, kind of like a heal pops and heals you. It does the opposite, kind of like a damage over time, like I said. So, first passive down. Second passive, the Power of Ormus 3. Pretty basic passive here, just boosts his HP and attack. Not a huge deal. The last passive, Heart of Ormus, while below 30% health, heals all allies for 135% of his attack as HP. Skill can be triggered only once. So it's kind of nice. If Ormus gets weak, he does pop a little AoE heal. If he's your only 10-star, he's probably not going to get weak until your other team is dead. But when you have an all 10-star team, that can actually be kind of useful. So there you go. There's the Ormus' skills. We'll jump in, look at his gearing stuff, and then we'll kind of talk about where he's good, where he's not so good, etc. So the gear up here doesn't really matter. I just left the 4-star stuff. I do have a 5-star set on my Vesa. Doesn't really matter. But the stone. There's really only one good stone for Ormus. It's attack. You want to boost his attack as high as possible, because the higher his attack is, obviously the higher he's going to heal. His heals are based entirely on his attack percentage. So like I said, you want that attack to be high. The higher his attack, the higher his heals, the more use you're going to get at Ormus. There's no reason to build crit on Ormus. There's no reason to build like speed and HP. He doesn't need to be quick. He just needs to heal. That's his job. So an attack stone is pretty much the only stone for Ormus. No reason to really use anything else. As for the artifact, depending on where you're going with them, I still always kind of lean attack on the artifact as well. This one right here, a red artifact exclusive, isn't bad for him. It gives him flat attack and percent attack. The damage to priest, whatever, not really super important. But it boosts his attack. Flat attack, percent attack, that's great. Makes his attack higher. The higher his attack, the better his heals. A lot of heroes benefit from like a reduced damage artifact. Ormus is one of the few, I think, that really doesn't. He doesn't need to like take less damage. Ormus mainly needs to output more heals. So he's one of the few heroes I would say a reduced damage artifact is actually going to do less for you than an attack artifact, even like in a place like the Aspen Dungeon. All right, so there's kind of my gearing guide for him. Go attack on your artifact, go attack on your stone. You don't need crit, you don't need speed. None of that stuff really matters for Ormus. You don't need reduced damage, unless he's like your main tank, which would be really weird. If he is, I guess in that case, maybe you can run reduced damage on him. But you probably shouldn't be tanking with Ormus. That's just my opinion. All right, so where's Ormus good? Where's Ormus ungood? I don't know, he's kind of like a mediocre dude. He used to be like top dog because he was the only AoE healer in the game. When Vesa came out, he kind of lost his throne. He's not quite so used as much, but he still has one of the best healing abilities in the game. So he still has use. When it comes to things like boss fights, running Ormus isn't a bad idea. He can heal a lot. Vesa usually gets picked over Ormus because she deals more damage, so that's kind of handy when you're fighting bosses. In the Brave Trial, I found it's actually kind of handy to have both. Having a Vesa on attack and an Ormus on heal really helps keep your team alive, because, I mean, you're talking about huge heals for your team. Very hard to kill you off when you're healing for almost 1,000,000 HP every turn. But yeah, that's not a bad deal for the Brave Trial. Having both together is pretty solid. Of course, 2 Vesas would do the same thing, or I guess 2 Ormuses, just a little less damage. When it comes to the arena, again, because he's not very attack-oriented, most people go with Vesa over Ormus because she's going to deal more damage. She's more multi-use. But Ormus still has a better healing potential in PvP that I've seen because his burst heal pops off so quick. He doesn't need attacks and attacks and attacks to boost his own attack percentage like Vesa. As soon as he pops his active skill, he's healing, and he could possibly he could trigger that burst healing and really heal your team a lot. So it kind of goes either way. Vesa's definitely better for damage in PvP, but you can use Ormus for heals. It does work. Ormus and Gru combinations, kind of disgusting because Gru takes forever to kill anyways. So yeah, there's a thing there. He's all right. Pretty much everywhere, that's kind of the case with Ormus. He's not anywhere, I would say Ormus is not the best in slot really anywhere, but he's never going to be, well, usually never going to be a worst in slot hero either. He's kind of right there in the middle line. You can't go wrong with having him in your team. I would say having a healer always a good idea, especially if you have no Vesa. Definitely take an Ormus. Absolutely take an Ormus. As for the Aspen Dungeon, it's not open yet, is it? No. Ormus isn't. He's not going to take you as far as Vesa can. The main reason he doesn't self-boost his attack. And he doesn't do enough damage with his attacks to actually get through healer nodes. But generally speaking, a maxed out Ormus can probably top out around difficult 50. That's where he's going to get to the point where he gets stuck, either on a healer node or a Bloodblade node just smashes his face or something because he can't out-heal all that damage over time. I would say difficult 50 is probably the upper end of where Ormus is going to go in the Aspen. Like I said, for as easy to build as Ormus is, that's not bad. A difficult 50 hero for the Aspen Dungeon is pretty nice. It's going to give you a good amount of coverage for your merchants to drop. It's not bad. He's not bad there. I'd say the place I like him the most, I see shines the most, is probably the Brave Trial with the huge heals for your team, especially paired with Vesa. It's hard to kill your team off when you have both of them healing the crap out of you, so that's definitely nice. But we're going to jump in, do some battles with him, just to kind of show you a little bit about Ormus in combat. So we've got oop, that Marauder's dead. This guy still got a Marauder, hot, and it's an Abyss Marauder, so he's going to do a little extra damage. When I face this Marauder, I actually do run Ormus in the first slot, because, one, he's going to get his active skill more often, which isn't a super big deal. It's not bad, of course, it does a little more damage. But because he's a healer, he's not going to die in that front slot against a Marauder anyway, and he does a lot more damage than a Gru will in my first slot. So I just put him in the front place, gives him his active skill more often, he does a little more damage that way. Usually he doesn't hit quite this hard, but because it's an Abyss Marauder and he's in the first slot, he will hit a little harder than normal. I've got the big 3 in my team, as you can see, a level 100 Sigmund, 100 Heartwatcher, and 100 Cruz. You're like, why would you carry 3 5-stars in? Trust me. Trust me, if you've got them at 5-star, they're still going to do more damage for your team than your 6 and 7-star other heroes. So we're going to jump in here. We're going to run a battle with him and kind of see what he does. They go pretty quick. They go pretty fast. Our only really threat, though, is if Margaret crits or gets too big of a skill damage boost and hits my Heartwatcher, she dies really quick. Yep, there she goes. The damage over time will take her down. So if she dodges that big skill drop, she's all right. I'll put out a little more damage. So this will probably be a lower damage run. I got another Heart Watcher. That's right, I got one the other day in Casino. Ha 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 ha. So eventually that Heart Watcher will not be dying so easy because she'll be an 8-star Heart Watcher, and that will be fantabulous. So we'll work on that. But right now, you see he's not hitting really bad numbers. I mean, 600, 700,000 with the stacked up damage. That's not bad. That's not bad. He's keeping pace. Well, he's not going to keep pace with Walter, trust me. But it's not bad damage for an Ormus. Like I said, having the type advantage here makes a big difference. He's definitely putting out a lot more damage than he normally would, about 50% more to be honest. There you go, 36 million. That was actually a really low hit. That was not nearly as good as they usually are. My Walter did like butthole, 14 million damage. That kind of sucked. But like you see, 9.6 million damage. He actually outdamaged my Vesa this time. He usually does against this Marauder. Against most other Marauders, that's not the way it goes. But the heals, as you can see, puts out a lot of healing. 21 million overall heal. Vesa, she puts out 19 million heal at a 9-star. People say, well, then why would you ever take Ormus if she heals so much more? She heals herself really well. With her self-heal, but also it's going to be the fact that she's building attack as the battle goes on. She's constantly buffing her attack up. Right out the gate, Ormus is going to heal way more than Vesa because he's got that huge burst heal. He doesn't have to build his attack up. It's going to be a big flat heal right out the gate, where Vesa has to do some attacks, basically, basic attacks, to boost her attack percentage, and then her heals get bigger. She takes a little bit longer to wind up, I guess you'd say. Ormus is like, boom, and he's there. Makes sense, right? Dudes and chicks, you get it, you get it. So there you go. We'll run one more. I'm just going to next through this one, though, because that was a pretty sad number. I usually hit like 50 mil, or roundabout. There you go, 58 million. That's right. Heart Watcher must have stayed alive a little longer this time. But there you go. As you see, he's still out-damaged Vesa with 13.8 million damage. Walter hit a little harder. Everybody hit a little better. The heals generally stay about the same. This time he healed 25 million. The main reason probably is that Heart Watcher didn't die so quick, so he's able to heal her more. So about 25 million heal. That's what I'm saying, is he has a lot of healing potential. The more you heal, obviously, the longer you're in the battle, and that will boost your damage. If I didn't have any healers in this team fighting this Margaret, my damage would be astronomically lower because my heroes would die off eventually. That's what healers are really good for, and I do like Ormus. Eventually down the road, if I get like a freakish amount of luck and I pull a second Vesa, then I'll get rid of Ormus 100%, okay? You don't need an Ormus and a Vesa if you have two Vesas. Just go with both the Vesas, make one Vesa an attack Vesa, and one Vesa a crit Vesa. That's the best way to go. But like I said, for nowsies, he definitely works. And like I said, he's a really easy build. It's not hard to get Ormus. It seems like he drops pretty regularly, orbing in the Fortress faction or even from events. And not to mention, like, I don't ever recommend you ever buy a hero from the guild shop. It's a waste of your coins. I've done it before, as you can see. I did that to finish a heroic miracle, I believe. I think that's when Vesa was the reward. Maybe it was Cruz. I don't remember. But I was like, yep, I got to buy a couple of these. I got to get my 5-star light and dark heroes. So I did. Like I said, sometimes you got to bend your own rules a little bit. But if you really were hard up and had to buy an Ormus, you could. He's still a really easy build. Would never recommend you actually buy one. But he's there. He's an option if you really want to. 14,000 guild coins isn't going to end the world for you. But it's definitely not what I would recommend. So there you go, guys. That's the Ormus analysis. Pretty solid hero overall. Like I said, he works pretty well everywhere, but he's not like a god anywhere. And that's kind of why people don't like to be like, Ormus is trash. He's not trash. When he's not... People always say that about heroes that aren't god tier or best, and it's like, oh, they're trash. They're not. They're just not god tier. There's a difference. There's a difference between a trash hero and a god tier hero. Glenn is a trash hero, okay? Ormus is not. He's mediocre, he works pretty well everywhere, but he's not going to be the best really anywhere. That's just what you want to keep in mind. I do like my Ormus. I do. Eventually, I might end up swapping him out if I get enough copies for somebody, because I've got some. I don't have any of the things, I lied. But when I complete my next Heroic Summon event, I'll get those little purple gems to trade up a 10-star hero. And I can always swap him out for a different hero later, like a Sigmund 10-star or something like that. I don't know. But for right now, I do enjoy him. I don't think he's a bad build, especially if you're having trouble getting your Vesa. If you're still running around no Vesa and you're like, oh my god, I've got two Ormuses, build the freaking Ormus. Okay, it's not going to hurt you to have an Ormus. Even if you just stop him at 9-star and use him as food later, that's fine. He's still going to heal a decent amount. Once you get him to 10-star, like I said, it's not really hard to do. He's an easier build for a hero. It's not the end of the world. You can always swap him out later, or you can use him in the Brave Trial and double up on your heals. It's great. We'll run one Brave Trial battle, just because I haven't done mine yet. It'll be super easy, probably. Yeah, 7 and 8 stars, whoopty freaking doodle. Not a huge deal. I don't even run an R in my Brave Trial, because why would I? I just do it like this. The biggest issue I have sometimes is that my team kills the enemies too quick on these first couple waves, so you don't actually get your heals out. Looks like it's not going to be a problem this time. There you go. Pretty quick, pretty easy, and your entire team is pretty much full health for the next battle. And you do that a lot. Once you get, at least for me, I don't know what it goes off of, like your base power or something like that. But when I start getting to the places where people have like 3 or 4 10-star heroes, that's when I start losing people because of burst damage. And monsters. Once monsters start activating on the enemy team, it can nuke down my weaker heroes like my 7-star Ice Blink, and that kind of sucks. But it's not bad. So like I said, he's really good paired with another healer to like really massively keep your team alive. He works well as a solo healer if you don't have Vesa. There you go, guys. That is Ormus in a nutshell. He's a healer. He's not your damage dealer. All he does is heal. He does a pretty decent job at it. So there you go, guys. That's the Ormus analysis. We will see you guys back tomorrow for some new events. I don't know. I think it's Heroic Miracle. Could be wrong there. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, though. Also, Seasonal is going to start tonight at Refresh. Cannot wait for that. It's been so long since I've had some Seasonal to play, guys. I'm having withdrawals. But anyways, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please make sure smash that thumbs up button to show your support. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. And tell your friends about it, because that definitely helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one.